Well. Welcome back to New York Sports WickerMedia. I'm Watts UK99. Thank you, as always, for taking the time to watch these videos. Week 13 getting closer to the end, mercifully. The New York Jets host the Seattle Seahawks at 1 p.m. on Sunday afternoon. Last line was Seattle is favored in this game by 2 points. The 3-8 Jets, well, they just had their bye week, meaning they did not show up to play football last week, which pretty much sums them up for most of the season. Seattle, on the other hand, is 6-5, first place in the NFC West. They've won 2 straight games, both against division opponents. So let's break this matchup down. Break down each side of the ball, just like we always do, starting when the Seattle Seahawks are on offense and the New York Jets are on defense. This is going to be pretty interesting. It's strength on strength in the pass game. It's weakness on weakness in the run game. So Seattle scored only 9 points on offense against Arizona last week. They're second, though, in passing yards per game, only behind Cincinnati, so they can definitely throw the ball down the field. Genosmith, of course, the ex-Jet, completing 69% of his passes, 3,035 yards, 12 touchdowns, a league-high 12 interceptions. Can't forget that. He has been sacked 37 times. That is the 5th worst sack rate in the league. So the Seattle offensive line has had a lot of issues keeping Geno upright. And if you look at the receivers, Jaxon Smith-Njigba, the second-year receiver, he has team highs with 66 catches and 755 yards. That number is actually 6th in the NFL, 4 touchdowns. He has really emerged as the dominant threat in the Seattle passing game over DK Metcalf. Actually, Jaxon Smith-Njigba, over the last 3 weeks, 3 touchdowns, 366 receiving yards. As for Metcalf, he's been dealing with some injuries this year, 46 catches, 697 yards, 3 touchdowns, but he has 13 receiving plays of 20 yards or more, so he is still very capable of stretching the field. Tyler Lockett has been very quietly steady productive player for years. 32 years old, not quite the same threat that he's been in years past, but it's going to be a marquee matchup. Those 3 receivers going against Sauce Gardner, DJ Reed, and Michael Carter II. And then at tight end, you've got Noah Fant. He has 27 catches on just 32 targets for 285 yards. He missed last week with a groin injury. He is expected to suit up as of this recording. Now, the issue with Seattle, and probably the biggest concern that Seahawk fans have right now, is the run game. They're 28th in yards per run, just 3.9. They averaged only 2.6 yards per run against Arizona, a team that's not exactly the fearsome foursome or the steel curtain. Okay, but Kenneth Walker, 129 carries for 493 yards, 7 touchdowns. Zach Charbonnet has 4 touchdowns. He has a little more speed than Walker. I actually think I'm more concerned about him than I am Walker at this point, but both averaging under 4 yards per carry. With the offensive line, you've got Charles Cross and Abraham Lucas at the tackles. Lucas coming off an injury. Of course, our old buddy Laken Tomlinson, one of the biggest free agent busts we've seen in many years at left guard. Jets know him well. Can we just exploit him with Quinnen Williams, please? Can we just put Quinnen right over Laken all game long and see who wins that matchup? I would love to see that. At right guard, Anthony Bradford is on IR, so now the rookie Christian Haynes from UConn is expected to play Sunday. If the Jets are going to win this game, if they're going to slow down the Seattle offense, the interior defensive line has to beat the interior offensive line of Seattle. I expect the Seahawks to try to reignite their ground game, especially running the ball outside, because as we know, the Jets' defensive ends are not exactly, their strength is not exactly stopping the run. So I would expect Seattle to keep trying that until it doesn't work. All right, now let's do what we always do. Let's flip the script when the New York Jets are on offense against the Seattle defense. Well, Seattle held Arizona to 6 points and 49 rushing yards last week. That was one of their best defensive efforts in years. 5 sacks. Got to keep that in mind, too. They were getting to Kyler Murray. They beat the dog crap out of him. Over the last 3 games, the Seattle defense has allowed just 14 points per game, 82.7 rushing yards per game, compared to 23 points and 148 rushing yards over the first 8. Point is, in the month of November, they have been way better than they were in September and October. And now with the news that Breecehall may not be able to play this game for the Jets with a knee injury, it's going to make the test that much more difficult for this offense. So you might see some Braelon Bam Knight just brought back to the practice squad. Maybe he gets promoted for this game. I would wonder, though, if Breece doesn't play, between Bam, between Bam, Isaiah Davis, and Bam Knight, who's going to get the bulk of the carries? It's going to be interesting. But Leonard Williams, another old friend from the Jets, last week had a dominant game. 6 tackles, 4 quarterback hits, 2.5 sacks. That's right, 2.5 sacks in one game. Darickhall, team high 6 sacks for the season, 7 tackles for a loss, also forced 2 fumbles. Boyemafe starting to emerge, third-year player on the year, 5 sacks, 7 tackles for a loss, 3 passes defended. One of the biggest moves that the Seahawks made, they've really been sort of tailoring the defense as the year has gone on under Mike Macdonald, their new head coach, the former Ravens defensive coordinator. They've been really changing players, and one of the biggest moves they made was bringing in linebacker Ernestjones from Tennessee in a trade. And in the 4 games he's played with the Seahawks, he has 47 tackles. So in that run game, you got to watch for Ernestjones. In the secondary, you've got a great cornerback combination in riqwoolen and devonwitherspoon going against Garrett Wilson and davanteadams. This is going to be a marquee matchup. You got pretty good depth with Trey Brown and Kobe Bryant, who's been playing safety more. Yes, that Kobe Bryant, the one from Cincinnati, Sauce Gardner's old teammates. Last week, he had 6 tackles and a pick 6. Let me know when Sauce has a stat line like that. Just saying. And safety Julian Love, formerly of the Giants, with a team-high 76 tackles. Okay, a few other notes to keep in mind here. These are 2 of the most penalized teams in the NFL. Jets averaging 7 penalties per game. Seattle, 7.6 penalties per game. And the Seahawks special teams have been very, very shaky. They have committed 3 turnovers on kick returns this year. They allowed a blocked field goal that was returned for a touchdown. And a kicker, our old buddy Jason Myers, still there all these years later. He has missed 5 kicks this year, 2 of which were extra points. They do have a good punter in Michael Dixon, put 3 punts inside the 20 last week. But Anders Carlson for the Jets seems like he is going to be a pretty good kicker for however long he winds up being the kicker for the Jets. So that's pretty much what's going on. My score prediction is on the other video, the 5 bowl predictions video, as it always is. Everybody, hope everybody is having a great Thanksgiving. Enjoy the rest of your weekend, and I will see you right back here with more content from you know where. The Wicker Channel.